Hey everyone, Journeyman here, and welcome back to Weston Super Mare. This is the start of Season 3, or the start of the 2018-19 season for Weston Super Mare. Hey everyone, once again, welcome back to Weston Super Mare and the start of the 2018-19 season. So it has been a long, action-packed summer for me in charge of Weston Super Mare. A lot of turnover in the squad and a lot of things to talk about in today's episode before we get to the game at hand, which is going to be up against Wealdstone away from home. So first and foremost, I'm sure you guys are interested to see what the squad looks like today. Well, there has been a lot of transfer activity. As you can see, I've brought in a number of players and also released a few as well. So first out the door, Lewis Bolton, he was horrendous, got rid of him. Connor Deards also left the club on a free transfer, he moved to Maidenhead. Jamie Horncastle is also gone, with Joe Steele, a rock at our back for the last 2 seasons, I'd say. He's been a really solid player for us, but his wage demands were too high, so I moved him on. Luke Pennell, a bit of a surprise exit. He actually didn't want to re-sign a new deal for us at the end, so I just let him loose. Then Christian Scott, a player I was looking at the end of the season as a potential player for me this season, but unfortunately he wasn't anything special and I wasn't willing to give him the money that he wanted. Alright, first and foremost, let's go down the list of incoming. So, first of all, signing was Fahad. We talked about him in the last episode. As you can see, extremely well-rounded, amazing physicals, and he's even got the potential to grow a little bit and become a little bit better. He's got lots of 8s and 9s. He could be a very, very useful signer for this season. Had a solid preseason as well, notching up 2 assists and average rating of 6.97. Then we brought in Herson Alves, another signing I announced in the last episode. He had a really good preseason as well. He almost established himself as the starting attacking midfielder instead of James Jenkins. He played really well, 2 assists, average rating of 7. Then we have Dean Inman, a player brought in from Maidenhead. He's a pretty well-rounded centre-half, 27 years old, will provide cover this season should I need it. He has all the right kind of attributes I need in a centre-half, decent passing, good tackling, and solid physical ability. The pace is there as well. So he's got a pretty well-rounded centre-half, just a very solid signing. Then I brought in Marco Dulca, a Romanian centre midfielder from Dorchester. Now, he had a really, really good season last season round, and he definitely has the ability to try and create something out of nothing. He actually had a really good preseason as well, very, very solid. He's actually a Romanian youth international player. He's notched up 2 goals so far in a preseason with 2 assists, average rating of 7.23. Excellent physical ability and is also technically gifted as well, so ideal centre midfielder. Then I brought in Josh Cook. Now, he's one of the players I brought in to replace Alan Williams and Dale Southall. Obviously, he's not of that same quality, but he did have a great season last time out. He notched up 20 goals for Telford in the Vanarama North. I'm hoping he can make the step up this season. He's got the right kind of attributes to do so. Finishing's 9, composure 13. Physicals could be a little bit better, but he is only 21 years old, so I think that will get better over time. And pre-season went well for him. He scored 4 goals in 6 appearances, so he had a good pre-season as well. I'm hoping he can make the step up and provide some good goals for us this season. Then we had a centre-half, Lawrence Maguire, who can also play left-back as well. Pretty much a ball-playing defender, so I looked to replace Joe Steele and Ryan Delaney after they left the club, and this guy fits the bill nicely. His mental attributes are good, technically he's also very good, passing's 11, which is excellent for a centre-half. He can also fill in at left-back. He might actually get a lot of games at left-back, considering we have lots of options at centre-half now. Decent pace, strength is could be a little bit better, but nevertheless, he's going to be a good signing for us this season. Then I signed Tom Bender from St. Albans, just a cheap backup player. I wanted to take a longer look at him, come on a non-contract deal. Honestly, I don't know how many games he's going to get this season, but nevertheless, he will provide quality minutes at backup at centre-half and left-back. Then I bought in our new goalkeeper, Adam Pritchbeck, I think that's how you pronounce it. Not really an English name I'm familiar with, but nevertheless, he is a very, very talented young up-and-coming goalkeeper. Right now, he's only rated at 2.5 stars by my assistant manager, but I do think in the future he will be a great goalkeeper. As you can see, his attributes are starting to rise already, and he has all the things I look for in a goalkeeper, so he should be a very solid signing for us. At 18 years old as well, he could be one for the future. Then I bought in Tom Conlon on loan, probably the best player at the club right now. Very versatile playmaking midfielder, 22 years old. He's on loan for the rest of the season. Solid preseason, nothing spectacular, but I'm sure as he settles into the squad, he's going to be a very, very good player for us. Then we brought in Tom Cadman, who is a centre-half on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. Again, a very, very talented player. Can play centre-half, can also play left-back as well. Can play that ball-playing defender role nicely, which is obviously a specialised role. I emphasise and try and get players that can do that role in, because it's easy to find like a stopper in the lower leagues, but it's really hard to find a ball-playing defender or a cover guy. And this guy, as you can see, can do a lot of those things for me. Physical attributes are excellent. Mental attributes are not quite there, but they are getting there. And technically, he's pretty sound as well. So it should be a pretty good signing. He's going to be with us the rest of the season. Then I bought in another loan signing, Connor Harris, a striker on loan from Cheltenham, a player my scout highly recommended. He came in and he's done okay in preseason, not spectacular. I signed him on loan for the entirety of the season. Physically, he's not quite there yet. He's only 17 years old, but I think Cheltenham do have a decent player on their hands as long as they can give him some game time in the future. As you can see, he actually went to East Thurrock in the Vanarama South and scored 7 goals in 9 games. So that's a very promising start for him, and I'm hoping he can make the step up into the Vanarama National and get some good goals for us. Then Harvey Bradbury came in from Portsmouth, 19-year-old striker. My scouts recommended him. I like him to some extent. He's definitely an out-and-out target man. He can't do much else apart from that. So we're going to have to see how he kind of fits in the squad as the season progresses. He had a pretty solid preseason, though. Played 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, average rating of 6.83. He actually also played for East Thurrock as well. He notched him 3 goals and 18 appearances. So I brought him in based on my recommendations for my scouts, and so far he looks okay, but I'm not quite sure how he's going to fit in. And I brought in Dion McFoy-Johnson back into the club just to take a longer look at him. He came on a non-contract deal, so it's pretty much a no-lose situation for us. Alright, so that wraps up all the transfer activity. Now, this summer I actually had a tough time bringing in the quality players that I wanted because of our restrictive budget. Our wage budget only went up by about £500, which means we didn't have a lot of money to work with. And honestly, I'm overspending on my wage right now, but I needed to try and bridge the gap between the players we had last season and the quality I want to have this season. So it's a little bit of a calculated gamble, but I'm hoping it will pay off. Let's take a look at some of preseason results real quick. We lost 2-0 to Leeds. We actually played very well in that game. Beat Langford 4-1. Lost 2-1 to St Albans, which was a very disappointing result. Then we lost 3-1 at home to Plymouth. Followed up by 3 wins in a row. Bridgend 2-1. Ely 4-0. And then Blackpool 3-0. We actually played really well in this game. Surprising results, to say the least. We dominated Blackpool. Not quite sure they had their first team out. I mean, it looks like they had a really strong team, but nevertheless, a 3-0 win over a team above us in the league, a league above us, is always a good result. So let's take a look overall at the club status right now. Obviously, I did sign a new deal in the summer that was expiring, but as you can see, our finances isn't looking that good right now. We're currently spending about £8,482 on our wage when our budget is only £7,175. So that's something we're going to have to reduce over time, and may have to look in selling a few reserve and role players, and maybe going with a little bit of a thinner squad and replacing those players with cheap loanees, things like that. But as far as players coming in, this is how we look at a squad at the start of the season. Now, obviously, this is going to be subject to change. There are a lot of things that I'm still yet to do. Defensively, we look a little bit more solid, but not that much better than last year. And up top, obviously losing Southwell and Williams, it's a big blow for us. So to replace those strikers and the goals they scored is going to be extremely difficult. But I'm hoping that Josh Cook and Connor Harris can step up to the plate this season. And obviously, Wee Spreaderburn has come back to the club, and I'm hoping he can play a bit better this year. He did okay at points and times, but I was really hoping a bit more from him. hopefully this season he'll step up to those expectations and we'll get a good season out of it. But anyway, let's go into today's game up against Wellstone away from home. Now, let's look at, also, I forgot to mention next, let's take a look at some of the predictions for the season. The media has us picked us finished 20th, which is one spot above the relegation zone. Obviously, we finished 12th last season. I would like to say we can definitely reach into the upper mid-table echelon, but it's going to be very difficult for us because, again, losing the likes of Southwell and Williams is a huge gap to fill. So, going into today's game, we're up against Wellstone, who are finished 23rd and probably equal favourites for the drop this season. So this is a game I'm hoping we get off to a good start in, and obviously a win on the opening day is a good way to start the season. So, going into this game, this is how we line up on the first day of the new season. So, we got Adam in goal with Kane Smith at right back, Tom Cadman at the ball-playing defender role with Daniel Devine, Lawrence Maguire at left back, with Marco Dulker at centre midfield, Tom Conlon as a playmaker, Fahad as the overborn midfielder, with Jenkins in the advanced playmaker role, Connor Harris at poacher, and Josh Cook at target man. So on the bench we've got Turner, Inman, Sweeney, Alves and Wedderburn making up the reserves. So as I mentioned going into today's game, I feel like we have a good chance to get a win, even though Wellstone are favourites according to the media. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and jump into today's team talk. The morale on the squad is okay. Some of those results during pre-season did do a little bit of damage, and obviously some of them were upset we couldn't bring back Southwell, even though I tried my best. He just wasn't interested. He thought we couldn't put a package together that would favour him. So here's an early chance. Conlon at the edge of the area to Jenkins. Jenkins turns, lays off Dusha to Devine. Oh, good effort there. Should have scored though. Daniel Devine should have scored. He's only about 4 or 5 yards out there, but he blasts it wide. Alright, so Lane leads attack for Wellstone, cross into Camel, the back post, and a good save from Adam in goal. I'm going to change his name because I'm not going to pronounce that name. Prijbek. Again, obviously I've actually butchered that name, but yeah, I think he's going to be a good goalkeeper for us this season. I'm very, very happy with some of the transfers I've made. Obviously, I would have liked to have strengthened up top a little bit more, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Maybe we'll bring another lone player. Okay, so ball's clear, but only as far as Jenkins. Jenkins has got a competition this year for that advanced playmaker role. Cadman gives the ball away cheaply, and it sets up Desane on the counter-attack, who beats Smith, surprisingly, and Sane is through on goal. Desane shoots and puts it wide. Absolutely abysmal effort there. Probably should be 1-0 down. That was a good opportunity for Wellstone. So going into half, it is 0-0. We're doing okay so far. Match stats saying we are controlling the game, but we haven't really created too many opportunities, which is a little bit disappointing. Obviously, we have Alves on the bench, who might be able to come on for Jenkins, and obviously Josh Cook is struggling with a 6.3 as well. Just things to keep an eye on going into the second half. Alright, so about 70 minutes in here, not a lot's happened so far. Josh Cook is struggling a little bit up top, so I'm going to bring him off for Reese Wedderburn. Disappointing. I was hoping to see a goal from him in the opening day fixture. And I'm also going to bring off Jenkins. I'm going to bring on Herson Alves just to see if we can freshen things up, maybe create a few more opportunities, because it's been a really slow start to the second half. In fact, no highlights at all. Alright, here's a chance though. Green is going to whip this in from the corner, and it's a foul. Tom Cadman has brought down... I don't know who brought down, but it doesn't matter. It's a penalty kick for Wellstone in the 77th minute. This will be a really devastating way to lose the opening day fixture. Let's see if Adam can step up to the plate and make a great save. Benyon shoots and straight down the middle of the goal, past Adam, and it is 1-0 to Wellstone. Well, on the plus side, we have 12 minutes to go though, so we do have time to react. Again, we haven't created much in the second half as far as chances, but I'm hoping we can respond quickly and get a goal back here, because losing the opening day fixture is never a good way to start the season, especially as a team that is due to finish around the same place we are. So Alves to Harris to Dulce, Dulce to Alves, to Fahad, Fahad to Maguire, Maguire to Dulce. This is very good build-up play, but it's not really much impactful. Alves gets the byline though, cross it into Wedderburn. Good block there from Frances, and he goes out for a corner kick. So the highlight isn't over yet. Maybe we can get a quick equaliser. Alves pulls at the edge of the area to Fahad. Fahad all the way back to Maguire to Dulce. Dulce shoots, ricochets off a defender, and it goes harmlessly out for a throw-in. So 10 minutes left to go in the game. Let's see if I can do a quick team talk, get these guys going, push forward from the changes. And it looks like I'm about to run out of time, unfortunately, and I have done. It is, in fact, a 1-0 defeat at the start of the season. Not a good way to start the season. Not ideal at all against a team that I really, really wanted to get a win against. So yeah, there you go, have it. That kicks off the season. Not a good way to start, but you know what? We've got a little bit of time left before the transfer window closes, so hopefully I'll make some more moves before our squad gets set in place. But thank you guys so much for watching the opening episode of Season 3. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series so far. If you did, remember to drop a like. And if you want to see more videos from me in the future, remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next part. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.